Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, as you can see by the title, it is going to be a video all about budgeting, money management, saving, and giving you guys some little bit of like my tips and tricks, which I hope can at least help one of you. I get inboxes quite a bit of girls who say like, oh, like I love where you've got this, where have you got it from, and you know, like have you got any tips on like, you know, saving whilst they're having a baby and things like that. And I really wanted to do this video to kind of put it out there that it's nothing to be ashamed of. At some point in our lives, people have taken out loans, they've got family to help them out, they've struggled, and I just think that it's something that genuinely somebody should not be embarrassed about. We've all been in that position. If you've not, then you're very lucky, but the majority of us have, and during a global pandemic, times are getting a little bit tight for a lot of us. So I thought that it was like my duty to come on here and do this video, tell you guys not to be ashamed about it, and maybe help some of you out or give you some ideas of how to start budgeting your money more wisely, I will say. And yeah, so without further ado, I'm gonna go and get started. Okay, so first things first of one of my tips is get yourself a notepad and some highlighter pens. These are a really good way of writing down your monthly income or your weekly income, whichever works out best for you, and calculating exactly what you have coming in and going out and what you have left over. So to start off with, I will cover those up. I write down everything that is going to be coming out of my monthly income. If you are someone who works on commission as well and things like that, which can obviously fluctuate your wage, I would definitely say work it out as a bog standard amount that you get, and then kind of like the commission is everything that's on top of it, which is like an extra. That would just be my tip for you guys. So at the top, you are going to write down your monthly income, wage, and then you are going to prioritise everything which needs to get paid. So for me, it's gas and electric, water, my Sky, my TV licence, phone bill, Lily's nursery fees, and rent. So out of that, you are going to calculate up how much it all costs, which is down this side, which says monthly. So how much it costs monthly, and then at the end you are going to have a total. So after that total, you are going to want to take it away from whatever you earn monthly, and this is what I class as the spare cash. So this is everything that is going to go towards your food bills, any kind of debts that you've got off to pay. It can be used for a treat for yourself or anything like that. So that is the money that you have then left over. So after I have tallied up all of my bills that need to get paid, so I have a roof over my head and Lily has a place to go and learn, you are then going to want to start looking at a food shop. I think food shopping is something that is very varied depending on the area that you live. That is like the nicest way possible that I can put it. Like up near towards where my mum lives in Cheshire, a lot of the places in there are like Waitrose and the Sainsbury's. I'm not saying that the poshest of the posh, like they are obviously, but they're a lot more expensive than it would be to go to Aldi and Lidl. I would definitely look at price compare websites for a lot of the things. As for me personally, Aldi is the cheaper option, which is where I go. So also when it comes to the food shop, start planning your meals in what you are having that week. I always at the start of every week, just before I go and do a food shop, plan out what we're doing, whether it's lasagna, cottage pie, we might have chicken wraps one night, we might have like a bit of like a fry up to like bacon, sausage, egg, things like that. We then might have like a tuna pasta bake. It's all things like that. Like a lot of the time when you go into supermarkets, if you've not already pre-looked at what you're getting, this is when you start overspending, because you start thinking, oh, I might use that, or I'd like that, and before you know it, you've added on like an extra £20 onto what you actually needed to spend. So that is very, very important for me to do. It also helps me keep organised, but it makes me know that I've got everything in that I need to feed us for the week. So I think a majority, obviously every single week we get like fruit and veg, it's like a bits of pasta, bits of rice, everything like that, but it just helps keep it all structured, and you've kind of then got a realization of how much you're spending as well per week that you do it, which can help. I kind of like was researching how much does the average family spend, and some of that stuff is like £100 and odd, and I was like, a week? Like, shit, that's a lot of money. But some families are that big in which they do need to do that. But what I'm saying is that you need to start looking at alternatives to know where you can scrimp and save on the pounds. Things like nappies, if you've got babies, look at the best reviewed ones, but also look at the ones which you get more value for your money for. Things like laundry detergents, look at how many washes you can get. A lot of the time supermarkets, they do have like the deals on, so what I would always say is that if your brand has got like half price on it or whatever, or buy two for a certain thing, that is when you should be buying it, because a lot of things, they do come to a hell of a lot of money, which a lot of us don't realize. Like, if we actually got a tally chart of how much extra things have costed that month that we didn't need or we could have saved on, it adds up to a hell of a lot of money. Back into the food shop talk. Another tip that I would give anybody when doing a food shop is to buy the clear containers for your food and fridge. Some people are going to be watching this and thinking, oh my god, what an absolute waste of money, but I promise you there is a reasoning behind it. A lot of the time when we have things in the fridge or we have them in the cupboards and things like that, we generally don't know what we've got, because we just intend to shove everything to the back, and before you know it, you've found some carrots that are like 3 weeks out of date, or if not longer. Ugh, and we don't want that. So what I would recommend is anything like cereal, tea bags, coffee, tins, as I said, things in the fridge. Buy the clear containers to keep them in. This way you are going to be able to see what you've got, how much you've got of it, and if you need any more or not. There was at one point, I swear to God, I had about 5 boxes of tea bags, and I drink a lot of tea, but not 5 boxes worth in like a week. And it was just a case of like, I was going to the supermarket, throwing them in, and I didn't actually need them. It's just because I couldn't be bothered looking, or I couldn't see what I had. And for me, that has really, really helped. It's helped me keep on track of kind of the dates in which the foods are done by organising all the tins. So it's like, obviously older stuff gets brought forward to the front, fresh stuff gets put forward to the back. Forward to the back, that was such a wrong saying, but anyway. So yeah, that would definitely be another tip for me. You can buy the labels as well, which label everything if you're a bit of a neat freak like myself, but that is going to be something that I genuinely focus on this year. It helps you get organised whilst also seeing what you have and possibly saving you a bit of money in the long run. Flicking back over to the bills point of view from it as well, always make sure that you are getting the best deal that you can. Go onto the price comparison websites, have a look at electric, gas, water can sometimes be a bit like a fixed tariff, but everything like that, like your telly, everything like that, make sure that you are looking around to see what is the best deal that you can get. Don't just go off something because someone else has either recommended it or it looked like a decent deal. Make sure that you know you are keeping on top of it, and if you are someone who has one of the meters, make sure that you are strict with that, and make sure that each month you are putting money aside for that month. Don't just think that you can live off a women a prayer and hoping it'll last you, and then by the time it comes you don't have enough money for it. So yeah, that would also be another good tip. Make sure that you look around for the best deal. So if you are someone who is moving into a house, or you have a house and you're looking at redoing it or anything like that, if you are on a budget or you would like to try and minimize how much you're spending, these are a few little tips that are so obvious but people don't do. So most of the furniture that is in my house is either bought from Home Bargains, B&M's, IKEA or Facebook Marketplace. Yes, we all like to see these oak furniture lands and all these really nice glossy cabinets and things like that, but they come with a hefty price tag, and majority of people, they sell things either for secondhand on Facebook at ridiculous prices, and it's great to upholster things. So giving it a second life when there's genuinely nothing wrong with it. Sometimes it needs a lick of paint, a bit of gloss, or do whatever, but that is genuinely something that I would tell people to go and look at doing. Things like your couches, like mirrors, wardrobes, drawers, side cabinets, things like that. I would always recommend trying to look for secondhand if you can and they're in a good state. If you've got the money to get brand new, good for you. I've not, so it is what it is. So yeah, that is definitely something I would say. Again, with Home Bargains and B&M's, like the pillows and the blankets that they have, you know, they're so good and good quality, and they're always changing, so they're always keeping up with the times. And yeah, just look around a little bit more. You don't have to go straight for the branded stuff for things to look expensive. But yeah, that would just be definitely another tip. So saving money where you can when it comes to fashion. I think a lot of people are very ashamed to think that they might buy things secondhand. Me, don't have a problem with it. Don't see why people are ashamed of it. If there's nothing wrong with it. Do you know what I mean? Like, and if you're only going to wear it once, like, how many of us can say that we wear things once and don't wear them again? I know I've got a guilty conscience for doing that. So one of my tips definitely would be to obviously either wait till the sales are on or until they've got good kind of offers on a lot of the clothes. But my main thing is when it comes to possibly like going out with the girls and doing whatever. Obviously, we all like to look nice, get dressed up, things like that. But a lot of dresses and going out clothes come with a hefty price tag. There are websites, apps, everything like that from, I think there's Depop, there's one called Vintage. There's like a load of secondhand places where people have bought the things at full price. So say a dress was 80 and they will be selling it off for like 40 or 45. And although some people might think 40 or 45 pounds still a lot, like there'll be a lot of girls who can appreciate, well, if for a dress that's only been worn once that was meant to cost £80, like that is ridiculous. So I would definitely say stop being a label snob and open your eyes to secondhand buying. Obviously, a lot of things like, you know, that you can get from your Primark basics, definitely obviously still stick to buying fresh of those, but anything like jeans, dresses, tracksuits, there are so many nice ones that people have either bought, not returned and don't fit them, or they've worn once, don't like it, worn once, won't wear it again. Definitely start being a bit more money savvy when it comes to that, because at the end of the day, if you're only going to wear it once too, it's something that you can then sell on again. It's the same with baby clothes. I found that when I was pregnant with Lily, it's just so impulsive to want to buy so many things. And in reality, I didn't need half of it or half as much. So definitely if you can buy like a secondhand lot of baby clothes, because at the end of the day, they're literally going to throw up in them, shit in them, wee in them. And as they slowly start getting older, they just get them muddy anyway. So many people are scared to put their kids in secondhand things when they get the things mucked up. As they get older, this is when they start caring for things, and that is when you can start spending more of the money. But for something that they are gonna either get mud on, food on, or do whatever with, then stop spending so much money on things that even they don't appreciate as much as we would if we were bought something that was in a designer brand. What I also would give a very strong put forward opinion on is watch who is in your circle. Don't be scared to talk about things, especially with family. Look, if you are lucky enough to have that kind of a situation with your family where you can be open, always be honest if you are struggling. A lot of the time I found, especially since having Lily, is I can't do as much things as other people can, in the sense of going out every weekend, doing this, doing that, buying this, buying that, all these holidays. I can't physically afford to do them things. And I think it's who you surround yourselves by who will understand that and get that. They're the people who you need around you. You don't need people in who will disown you if you can't afford something, or you kind of feel too embarrassed or ashamed to even talk about anything like that. I've been so lucky with my group of friends. They're just amazing. It's like, you know, even just stupid things like going out for meals. If I'm like, listen guys, my budget's tight this month, it's like, right, we'll come round, we'll have a takeaway. Like, my girls are amazing when it comes to things like that. So if you are not involved with people who are like that, or who have a different mindset and don't understand, then that is genuinely something that I would recommend you rethink about. So when it comes to spending money on things that are for self-care, I would recommend genuinely looking at how much you spend. A lot of the time, especially for girls, this can be where we have a downfall. I really got into starting to budget kind of at the start of the pandemic, just because, not that I was struggling, but I just wanted to start being a lot more sensible with my money, and, you know, not wasting it on things that I kind of like didn't need. Because I think when you're stuck at home, this is when the shopping and the spending can start. I had to budget anyway with having Lily and owning a house, but kind of just being sat there with nothing to do, it's so easy to start online shopping. But what it did make me realise is I used to get my lashes done every 2 to 3 weeks. I used to get my nails done every 2 to 3 weeks. And not having those things to get done, or because we can't get them done, has made me realise genuinely how much I am spending. I think in total, obviously, if you get things done every 2 weeks, it's normally like £15 to £20 for your nails, and like £20 upwards for lashes for an infill. And if you're getting that done every 2 weeks, like, there's 4 weeks in a month normally, and you're talking about £80 a month. And it sounds so stupid, but like, when you actually write it down how much you spend a year on those kinds of things, you kind of reins you in a little bit, and you think, Jesus Christ, like, is that genuinely how much I was spending? And sometimes you realise that you can do without. It's not hurt me or my bank account not getting things done. If anything, I've started doing my own gel nails. If I ever want anything on, which, hello, horror, I've not at the minute, but it's not made me miss having them on, knowing and realising how much I am genuinely spending. So sometimes you do have to make the sacrifices if you are saving up for a house, or you maybe need a little bit more money. Genuinely start taking a bit of a closer look towards home, because it's horrifying to see sometimes how much you genuinely do spend. But yeah, that's another thing I would throw in the mix. Lastly, the thing I'm going to talk about is credit cards and loans. This is a very touchy subject to a lot of people. I have never owned a credit card. I always got brought up to, if you can't afford it, you don't get it. Kind of live by that motto right now, and I have done for quite a while. So some people I know, you know, they can't help getting into debt if they don't have family or friends there to support them and give them help with that, which I completely get. but make sure that the people who you are taking a loan out with or anything like that is the right person for you. You are not paying over the odds of interest added onto it. And if you're going to go and take out a loan or get a credit card and start spending, look at if you genuinely really need that thing. You know, if you wanted to get a credit card to start off, you know, the journey and things like that of a credit rating, use the credit cards for emergencies only. So, or use it for a weekly food shop or a petrol fill up, so that it's something that you can definitely pay off without going spending £2,000 on a credit card and you not having the money to pay it off. But yeah, that would be something I would definitely rein in with people. And as much as it's a bit shit, if you can't afford it, don't get it. That is, sometimes you have to hammer that into your head. As much as you like something, if it's going to leave you out of pocket or it's something that could be spent on something else, genuinely stop and think about it. So a tip I have on starting trying to save money for your kids. If you do have children, a lot of you will know that you get your I don't even know what the name of it is, but it's the 80 something pound a month that everyone gets regardless of what your situation is, whether you have money or you don't. Always put that to one side completely in a separate bank account. I can't stress this enough. It pisses me off to even think that someone who gets child benefit money does not spend it on their child. Like, can we just take a moment? It genuinely frustrates me. The money in which you get given for your kid is for your kid. It's not for you or anything like that. So if one month you have to spend £80 because they need some new clothes and some new shoes, it is what it is. If another month you have £30 left over because they've not really need anything but nappies, wipes and a few little bits, like, that's okay. But if you do have any money left out of that £80, it's just a starting point. Put that into a separate bank account which you can get set up in your child's name, and that is something that you can, you know, slowly but surely start to fill up. As well as that, I would also recommend that whenever their birthdays come, always ask for money, or it sounds so asking for like money and gift cards, but if they're at a young age and where you already know other people are getting them presents, it can become really over consuming to think how many toys they actually have, and it's just a waste. Ask for money and for gift cards or for checks, because they can be either put towards something that they need in the future, or it can be also put in towards their bank. I think some people feel really cheeky asking for stuff like that, but for me, I'd rather have it in Lily's bank, or say if she got like a voucher for like Smith's or something, then it's something that I can then take her and she can go and pick out herself. So that would like start it off for you. Sorry, there was someone at the door. So on my final little piece that I'm going to talk about today is setting up savings for yourself. Once you have prioritised all the bills that need to come out and everything like that, once you've done a food shop for the week, for whatever, you know what I mean, like you've got everything covered for the month, then whatever you do have left over is like your luxury money. From that, I would say, depending on how much it is, and if you've not really got anything coming up or planned, start to put a little bit of money away each week, each month, or whatever that you have left. Kind of like the jars which you can put your money into are great. So any leftover change you've got, put it in there. At the end of the day, oh my goodness, it was like a cross between a burp and a hiccup. That was so gross. So at the end of the day, like I was saying, any bit of money that you can save adds up. People think that at one time you need to be putting like 300, 400, 500 pound away. That is not necessarily it. It can happen slowly, but slowly is better than nothing. And it's, as I said, please don't feel ashamed to talk about money or feel that you can't talk about it, because it's all right. Right now, majority of us are going through it. If you're not, then I wish I was you, but it is what it is. But just try and make budgeting as easy and kind of as fun as you can. But yeah, just don't forget that you're not on your own. I hope that this video can help at least one person. I kind of wish that I'd have watched something like this either when I was first starting out budgeting, or kind of just needed a kick up the backside to do it. But yeah, I hope that this video has been helpful. Any other videos that you guys want to see, please just do let me know. And other than that, I think I'm kind of done. So have a lovely day, and I'll see you soon. Bye guys.